Hi, I'm Cathy Jaramillo with Vertex Realty.
And I'm Kevin Jaramillo.
Today we're here to talk about the newly revised buyer brokerage representation agreement. We're actually going to be talking about two forms. The first one is the duties owed. The second one will be the buyer brokerage representation agreement.
So both of these documents need to be signed from this day forward, July 31st, 2024. Right? It used to be where when you were a buyer and you found yourself an agent would take you around, show you some houses, and wouldn't worry about doing any of the paperwork until you actually found a home and they're getting ready to get into the purchase of that property. But now with the new ruling, we can no longer just take you out and show you properties until you actually sign the paperwork, right? And that's what we want to talk to you today about, because NAR has been going back and forth what they're doing, what they haven't been doing, and there are probably all kinds of things that you've heard, but they finally settled on finally what the new ruling is, and that's what we're going to discuss. So maybe what you've heard in the past might not be quite exactly what it is, but we have it here documented. And just FYI, when this video is over, if you want a copy of this to read on your own, just reach out to us. We'll give you our contact info and you can get a copy for yourself to read through it, okay? Now, the first document is going to be the duties owed. Cathy will go over that with you, and then we'll get into the buyer brokerage representation agreement and we'll go over that. Okay, so Cathy, let's talk about that duties owed.
All right, so it's just a single page form. It's called the duties owed by a Nevada real estate licensee. And this form does not constitute a contract for services nor an agreement to pay compensation. So in Nevada, a real estate licensee is required to provide a form setting forth the duties owed by the licensee to each party for whom the licensee is acting as an agent in a real estate transaction. So basically what this form is just saying is that all parties will be treated respectfully, with skill, reasonable skill and care.
Will not disclose any of your information by law for 12 months. Likely, we typically don't discuss anybody's information, but by law it states in here that we cannot discuss any of your information for a minimum of 12 months. This document is actually also dated and time stamped. So if it's a Tuesday at 4:47 in the afternoon, that's exactly what it'll be, date and time stamped, okay? The second document is the buyer brokerage representation agreement. What is that one about?
So this is a 3-page, so none of these forms are going to take very long at all. They're pretty simple. As anybody would explain them to you, you should be able to basically understand what it means. If you have any other questions about that, please feel free to reach out and we'll go over it more in detail with you. But this agreement is designed to allow a buyer to engage a qualified, licensed professional for the purpose of viewing property or properties and receiving contract negotiation and advocacy services throughout the entire real estate offer and purchase process for the types of property described below. So there's 14 sections in this new form. The first one is properties. Now this form can either be property specific or properties specific or a time frame. So the second is the length of the agreement, and Kevin's going to go over that in further detail with you.
So this is one of the big things with us that I believe is what's going to separate Cathy and I from a lot of the agents out there. Now, typically, when in the past, when an agent would want to sign a buyer broker agreement with you, they would put a timeline on it of, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or even 12 months. Now, I don't want anybody to have fear that, hey, I just want to look at some houses, but I don't want to sign a long-term document, an agreement with you. I fully agree. I want to look at this in the aspect of, like we just started dating, let's just go on the first date. So Cathy and I have agreed that what we want to do for you guys is, yes, by law, we must sign one of these before we can show you homes, but the length of the agreement is to our discretion. And so we want to offer you guys a 7-day contract. That means like a first date. Let's go on this first date, show you 1, 3, 5, however many houses in that week. At the end of the 7 days, we'll discuss, hey, was this a good fit? Did we fit good together working? Or maybe, you know, we just didn't jive. And that's okay. Because at the end of 7 days, you get to make the decision. Hey, I want to keep working with you guys. You're awesome. Or, you know, I'm going to move along. No harm, no foul. You won't hurt our feelings. That's fine. We want to give you the best opportunity to understand how it is to work with us. Obviously, we feel we're fantastic and we're going to do the best job for you. So know that first and foremost. You do not have to tie yourself into some long-term contract with anyone. Okay? So don't let anybody do that to you. We're going to give you 7 days. We're going to readjust at 7 days. If it's a fit, hey, let's sign whatever, 30 days, 60 days, whatever you want. All right, next one is the number 3 section is the broker fee. This is the big one here. This is what got this whole NAR settlement into play here, is disclosing what our fees are to the buyers. Right? In the past, what it's been for roughly 75 years, the seller has always compensated the buyer broker. Right? We believe the seller will still go ahead and take care of the buyer broker. NAR wants us to put it in writing how much our fee is to you guys. Right? Now let me explain how this is going to work. Typically, you're going to see an average of about 3% broker fee. Again, in the past, the seller's broker would pay your side and the seller's side. It is our job to negotiate this fee. It is no longer an open forum for us to know what this fee is being offered unless we actually contact the other agent, the listing agent, and say, what is your seller contributing to the buyer broker in this particular deal? Now, they are going to tell us a couple of different things. They may say, our seller has agreed to offer 2%. Okay, that's a little lower than norm, right? Norm is 2.5 or 3. We are going to sign this contract, you and I, the buyer, at 3% because the new law states that we cannot negotiate up, we can only negotiate down. So we're going to always put on this form, our fee is 3%. We go find a house, we call them up, they're offering 2, our fee is 3. It is our job to negotiate to get that seller to give the full 3 or 2.5 or whatever we can get. If in the event that they will not come up, we were likely to take the 2 if we're going to put this on a sliding scale. If we've been with you less than 30 days and we've shown you however many houses and we find the one that you really want, we've negotiated the price, we're likely to take the 2%. Now, if we've been with you 6, 8, 9 months, 12 months plus, which we have with many clients, obviously we've put a lot of time and effort to find you the right property. We would feel that 3% is our natural fee here and we warrant what we deserve. So if they were offering 2, we would likely ask you to pick up the other 1%. So again, we want to take this ride with you, and we'll go ahead and we'll be on the low end of the scale if we find something fast for you. If it takes a while for whatever reason, that's fine too, and we'll negotiate that also. So just understand 2 things. The contract is negotiable on the time, how long it is. The commission is negotiable also. We just don't want to shortchange ourselves. If I put on that commission sheet that I'll just only charge you 2%, and the other side is willing to pay me 3, guess what? I can't take the 3. The law doesn't let me. It says, no, you negotiated for 2, and that's what you will get. Therefore, that's why we're going to go ahead and on paper say that our fee is 3%. Okay, so I hope if there's any other questions, just reach out to us and we'll go over that in more detail. But Cathy's going to go over with you the rest of these terms on this document.
All right, the next section, number 4, is about disclosures. Number 5, the broker's efforts. Number 6, buyer's representations and duties. Number 7, for best experience. Number 8, collecting broker's fees from the seller. Number 9, equal housing opportunity. Number 10, wire transfer warnings. Number 11, Nevada law applies. Number 12, authority/capacity. Number 13 is just for additional terms. And number 14 is for cancellation. And Kevin will go in more detail about that.
Cancellation is going to be another very important discussion, because a lot of people think even if you sign a long-term contract that you're stuck. Well, you're not. It states here, either party may cancel this agreement effective upon delivery of written notice to the other party, unless buyer is under contract to purchase the property. So up until you're actually in contract of a said property, you can cancel your contract at any time via written notice. That's either side. Okay? So it's real important that this final chapter here where it says cancellation, to understand that. Because I think the biggest fear out there is going to be, I don't want to sign a contract. I just met you, or I just talked to you, but I want to look at houses. Don't fear about it. One, we're only going to sign the first one with you for 7 days and then negotiate if you want to go further. And or even then, if you've signed one with somebody else, you can, up until you're in contract, cancel with them also. So don't let the new law scare you that you need to sign some documents to be able to go out there and do some house shopping. Now remember, like we stated, we can send you these documents so you can read them in detail and fully understand what that is, or just call us for a consultation. We'll go over it with you in detail, see what your needs and wants are, and how we can best help you. But Cathy, what separates us from the other agents?
Well, we are great to work with. We're both true Las Vegas natives. We're hardworking. We answer our phone.
Communication is key in this business, right? We work 365, almost 24/7. We will answer our phones at 6 a.m. up until 10 p.m. And we've actually answered them before and after those hours too, because we have clients that live in other states. So never worry about contacting us. If you call one of us and we don't answer, we're on the other line, probably servicing another contract, or maybe one of our kids we have for. So we will always answer the phone. You don't get just handed off. Some agents, just big teams, they just hand you off to a team member and you don't actually get to deal with the person that you first met. That's not what happens here. You get us both. You get us full time until you're completely satisfied. We close on your dream home, and even then we're going to help you after that and whatever needs that you may need, and become friends, and hopefully you can refer us in the future. Right? That's what this business is all about, is referrals, because we do such a great job for them. You can reach us at Cathy's number,
702-604-0334.
You can reach me at 702-604-0062. And the website, Cathy?
Cathy, C-A-T-H-Y, Jaramillo, Jaramillo.com. And also you'll be able to find some really great testimonials from our previous clients.
Exactly. So we hope this was very informative to you this July 31st, day one of the new NAR recommendations on what we have to do as licensed agents, for a representative of you buyers out there. Don't take it personal. It's not us. It's the new law. Everybody has to do it. If someone tells you, you don't have to do that with me, they're not compliant, they could technically lose their license. It would not be a good situation. So try not to get around it. Just let's go with the flow. Let's make this as smooth and seamless as possible. And remember, we're going to work for you for 7 days, and then we're going to figure out if we're going to be a good fit. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk we had with you, and we'll see you guys soon.
Take care.